Good morning, beloveds. Yeah, I'm still a little red-faced. Okay, we had a great day in the park. The Blue Jays were definitely out to play. And what I want to say is Happy Juneteenth. If you do not know what Juneteenth is, then, well, you should know what Juneteenth is because it's now a national federal holiday, which I think is awesome. But Juneteenth, the brief explanation is that Abraham Lincoln signed the emancipation of the slaves, and a whole lot of people didn't bother to tell them that. And so literally the U.S. Army sailed into Galveston Harbor on June 19th, 1865, and said, "You're free." We still have a whole lot of work to do, but this is a step in the right direction to make this a federal holiday, so that everybody knows about it. And what I want to say is, do not let this become a token. Do not let it become a sales holiday. Do not let it become just well, we gave you a holiday. No. There's still work to do. There's still a lot of work to do, and we want to keep doing it, but at least this is a step in the right direction. So now when people go, well, what is Juneteenth? We can say, let me tell you a little bit about our history. So, happy Juneteenth. And it is June 19th. Our title is I No Longer Indulge in Negatives. And Emerson says, we lie open on one side to the deeps of spiritual nature, to the attributes of God, justice we see and know, love, freedom, and power. All right. See what Ernest and Raymond have to say. The Spirit of the Lord is within me, and I am resolved to live positively. The Bible states that man is the image of a perfect God. Therefore, I must have the potential of perfection, and this perfection must be positive. I now align myself with the positive side of life. It is divinely natural to be positive, optimistic, and expectant of good. These are the bases of all healing, for they are the way God works through me. If God is in my life, then I should express health. If God is my supply, then I should express abundance and freedom in finance. I have faith that these ideas are true and that they now act for me. No one causes me to worry. Nothing causes me to fear. All evil is wrong self-indulgence. As an individualized center of divine operation, I can no longer afford the luxury of fear and worry. I refuse to pay their price, for God's free faith is mine to use without cost. It offers itself to me without stint, and I accept it with joy. I know that my right thinking controls my destiny. I know that the key to all experience is in my own consciousness. I set my thinking on truth, and I do not waver for a single moment. I am steadfast in my loyalty to Him who made me of Himself. God loves the positive person, for then all the mind has a free outlet for its ideas. Knowing this, I become the person God loves, and all right action uses me as a center of distribution. To me comes the holy purpose, and from me flows the healing power. I heal myself and others. I think health, act as health, and speak health at all times. I am no longer sick, tired, or worn out. God in me is positive life, health, and vitality. I radiate the positive. I rejoice in the power of right thinking. My whole experience is now changed into a greater good, and my thinking expands itself forevermore. I dedicate my mind to His, and I rejoice in positive results. All right. So my initial thought is, because I talk about when Ernest says things, when Ernest and Raymond say things like this, it's like positive thinking, positive thinking. And then I remind you that some of what we're dealing with is because we are in relation. We are in relationship with other people, sometimes whether we want to be or not. And that's one of the things where it is a good idea to go back and look at the people that you are in relationship with. By virtue of your choice and by virtue of circumstances, i.e., we don't always get to choose the people we work with. And think about the people that you are surrounding yourself with. Are you in relationship with people who are positive and optimistic and loving and kind and compassionate? Or are you surrounded by negative Nellies who are miserable and want to be miserable and want everybody around them to be miserable? Now, when we're at work, we don't necessarily have the choice to completely avoid them. But what we can do is we can change topics. We can refuse to engage them when they're being negative Nellies. And we can refuse to feed their misery. Because I have a coworker like that. She just feeds on misery. And so anytime she gets off into those misery feeding frenzies, I redirect her. I literally will cut her off. I really will cut her off. And I will change the subject. Because and I'm kind about it and I'm compassionate about it. But so that's one of the things that we want to keep in mind. It's like we can be as optimistic and positive and all of these wonderful qualities as we want to be, and then we have to look at the circle of people around us and see if they are also. Everybody you meet is not going to be wonderfully positive and optimistic, and even people who are wonderfully positive and optimistic aren't going to be that 100% of time, because they're going to have those days. I'm not going to say that they have bad days. I'm just simply going to say that they have days. So what are we doing when we encounter them, especially in people that we love, that we care about? What are we doing when they are in those negative Nelly modes to protect ourselves? And maybe, especially with people that you love, that you can, if not goose them out of it, at least not feed it. And sometimes the best thing you can do is remove yourself from the situation. And that is one of the things that I will do, because I am Pollyanna 98% of the time, and then I have those moments. And when I realize that I am in those moments, the best thing that I can do is remove myself from those, people that I don't want to inflict that negative Nelly on. So, that is my gift to them. I will go away until I feel better. And sometimes I will simply say, I can't do this right now. I'm going to go away. So that's, when you don't want to indulge in it, don't let people around you indulge in it. Don't feed it in them. Remove yourself from the situation if you can, or just change the subject if you can, or just dead silence. Because that is exactly what I do to my coworker when she gets off into this, dead silence. I'm not going to respond to that. So I no longer indulge in negatives. That's just some ways that we can do it. Look at the people around us. Make sure that the people are generally positive, and don't engage the ones that aren't. And that will help you avoid indulging in the negatives as well. Okay. Emerson, we lie open on one side to the deeps of spiritual nature, to the attributes of God, just as we see and know love, freedom, and power. I don't know what to do with that. I'm going to let Emerson be Emerson. I'm going to move on. All right. The Spirit of the Lord is within me, and I am resolved to live positively. The Bible states that people are the image of a perfect God. Remember that perfect means whole, not flawless. We can still make mistakes and be perfect because it just means we're whole. Therefore, I must have the potential of perfection. I have the potential of wholeness. And it is when I allow myself to be everything I am that includes the mistakes that I make. This perfection must be positive. This wholeness must be positive. I now align myself with the positive side of life. It is divinely natural to be positive, optimistic, and expectant of good. And that's what the psychologists say. We're born in love. We are born to love. We have to be taught to hate. We have to be taught to hate. Watch babies. Watch babies that have been held and cuddled and loved. They love everybody. They have to be taught to hate. So this is our base nature, is to be positive, optimistic, and expectant of the good, which is what he just said. These are the basis of all healing, for they are the way God works through me. And it doesn't mean that if you are facing a situation, i.e. the big C, you can't be angry about it. You can absolutely be angry about it, but you can be angry and use that energy to know that you're going to make it. You're going to be positive that you're going to make it. So don't let anybody tell you you can't be angry when you are facing a serious health challenge. Anger is okay. Negativity is not. Okay? If God is my life, then I should express health. If God is my supply, then I should express abundance and freedom in finance. I have faith that these ideas are true and that they now act for me. No one causes me to worry. Nothing causes me to fear. No one causes me to worry. I am the only person who can worry myself. And Einstein says worry is a misuse of imagination. So let's imagine better. All evil is wrong self-indulgence. And let's hit the nail on the head. All evil is wrong self-indulgence. That's exactly what it is. It is the misuse of the law, because the law is good for everyone. The law is good. The law does not harm unless we misuse it. So, all evil is wrong self-indulgence. Self-indulgence is not wrong. But when it harms somebody else, it's definitely wrong. So, it's like every now and again you need a good self-indulgence. As long as you are not harming anyone, including yourself. As an individualized center of divine operation, I can no longer afford the luxury of fear and worry. I can no longer afford the luxury of fear and worry. And I've never thought about it that way. I hear that and I'm just like, what on earth, the luxury of worry and fear? Yep, nope. All right. I refuse to pay their price, for God's free faith is mine to use without cost. It offers itself to me without stint, and I accept it with joy. Why would I pay the cost of fear and worry when faith is free? And God gives to me without stint. God holds nothing back. The only person holding God back is us in our interactions with Spirit. That's it. That's it. All right. I know that my right thinking controls my destiny. I know that the key to all experience is in my own consciousness, because the consciousness is the mind, and the mind that I'm using is the divine mind. Which means everything that I want and need is available in that mind if I am willing. That's it. I gotta be willing. All right. I set my thinking on the truth and I do not waver for a single moment. Okay, I set my thinking on the truth and I do not waver for a moment. That's hard to maintain 100% of the time what Jesse says is when you are in that sacred space, when you are doing that treatment, that is when you do not waver. That is when you do not waver. When you are, when you come out of that sacred space, when you are done with your treatment, when you are done with your spiritual practice, then you go back and do your regular stuff. You don't have to white knuckle it 100% of the time. All right. The time to not waver is in your spiritual practice and in your treatment. All right. It's in your prayer work. So don't worry about not having to waver 100% of the time. Nobody can do that. No, even the hardball metaphysics needed a break. So, all right. Just remember, it's you do not waver in the sacred space, in the treatment space, in the spiritual space. Give yourself a pass the rest of the time when you are doing the mundane and the material. Just don't let yourself sink. Don't let it go, okay? Try and remain, because he's about to say it. I am steadfast in my loyalty to God who made me of God's self. I am steadfast in my loyalty to Spirit who made me of the Spirit's self, all right? This is me using gender inclusive language. God loves the positive person, for then all of mind is a free outlet for its ideas. God loves a positive person, for then all of mind has a free outlet for its ideas. A positive person is always looking at the solutions. A positive person is knowing that there are things that can be done about a situation that seems hopeless, that seems like there's nothing that can be done. And when the mind, when God, when Spirit finds that mind, things get done. When Spirit is dealing with, Spirit's knocking on the heads of the negative Nellies going, here, I have inspiration, and they're not being positive. They're busy focused on the problem, so they're not seeing the solution. God loves a positive mind. I'm positive that there is a solution. I am positive that there is something I can do about this situation. And God and Spirit will provide. Spirit will provide. Knowing this, I become the person God loves, and all right action uses me as a center of distribution. To me comes the holy purpose, and from me flows the healing power. I heal myself and others. I think health, act as health, and speak health all of the time. How am I speaking health? By speaking love, by speaking kindness, by speaking compassion. That is how healing flows from me. By being an authentic child of God, by being that godling, by being that positive person. I speak kindness, I speak compassion. And that right there, in and of itself, can be one of the most healing things that happens to anybody all day. To meet that one person who is kind. And that sets them on a journey of healing, and it sets them on a journey of health. And maybe it takes a bunch of kind people who will never know how they impacted that person just by being kind. I am no longer sick, tired, or worn out. God in me is positive life, health, and vitality. I radiate the positive. I rejoice in the power of right thinking. My whole experience is now changed into a greater good, and my thinking expands forevermore. I dedicate my mind to Spirit and rejoice in positive results. I dedicate my mind to those attributes of God, starting with love, creativity, harmony, peace, joy. All right. He gave us the mission in the last line. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to dedicate our mind to Spirit and rejoice in the positive results. So the mission is to look to the positive and let go of the negative. That's it. That's it. Which means we get to do something loving for ourselves, do something for ourselves, do something compassionate for ourselves, every single day. There is not a day that we can miss that practice. Every day it can look different. Every day we can do the same thing, or every day we can do a different thing, but every day we do something loving, we do something kind, we do something compassionate for ourselves. Because the more we practice it on ourselves, the more we will have to give to others. It is the way it works. When we hold ourselves in love, it expands. When we hold ourselves in kindness, it expands. When we hold ourselves in the positive, it expands. When we are willing to look in our own eyes and see God looking back at us and know that God loves us, because we are the beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased always and forever, because that is a state of grace. And the benefit of grace is we do not have to earn it, and we can do nothing to lose it. That's it. God loves us because God cannot do anything else, because God is made of love. All right, beloveds, I have had a fantastic morning. I have no idea what I'm going to do with myself for the rest of the day. Well, that's not true. I do have an appointment that I have to take care of. But Saturday is my day of rest. Saturday is my day of rest. And so I'm going to snuggle with my cats, and I hope that you get to do something equally wonderful as I find snuggling with cats. It may not be your thing, but I love it. And just do what you need to do to make it a good day. Do what you need to do to make it a good day. Read something that expands your mind. Do something to engage your mind and your body. Like I went to the park. I love going to the park. Oh my gosh, I love going to the park. I enjoy parks so much. Squirrels and blue jays and other people. And there were a lot of people in the park today. It was great. There were babies in strollers, which is fun. There was an older couple with a great big bag of peanuts entertaining the squirrels. So that was great too. I enjoy that. And yeah, so go get some sunlight on your face. Drink some water. Drink a lot of water. It's hot. Drink a lot of water. And know that you are loved. You are truly loved. So open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. It is all around us. It merely awaits our consciousness. It merely awaits for us to be awake and see it. Because everything's made of spirit. So, it is a state of consciousness. As is hell, please choose heaven. Do what you need to do to make it a wonderful day. Know that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you today. I will be back at 9 a.m. and then we will have a service for you right here on Facebook Live around at 11. And we have some options so that what happened last week doesn't happen again. So we'll be live. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day. And I will see you tomorrow.